Let's continue our discussion of Tisha B'Av Shechali Yos B'Yomecha, Tisha B'Av that falls on Motzei Shabbos and of course Sunday, which is what happens this year. You never know, by the way, we're still waiting. It's not too late, things could change. Mashiach could come, the Beis HaMikdash could be here, and actually we could be dancing on Tisha B'Av. We are looking forward to that moment. However, if that doesn't happen like this, so generally speaking, there's something called a Suda Mavsekes. A Suda Mavsekes is a Suda that we eat right before Tisha B'Av, and there are many halachas. A person is meant to sit on the floor, a person is meant to eat eggs dipped in ash, and actually be contemplating what's going on. However, this year, because it is Shabbos Kodesh, we cannot do that. And in fact, there's a shaila in the Rishonim, what a person should do or has to do. What I will tell you is the maskana, and that is Mr. Brewer Paskins, a person can eat shalosh shudas, which is essentially the Suda Mavsekes this year. It's the Suda that we eat right before the fast begins. A Suda Kishloimek B'Shato, that means a beautiful Suda with meat, with wine, with everything, which normally is completely forbidden right before Tisha B'Av. But this year, because it is Shabbos Kodesh, and a person is not allowed to have Avelis on Shabbos, therefore you can have a full meaty meal, no problem whatsoever. Don't restrict yourself whatsoever from anything on Shalosh Shudas, and of course, make sure a few minutes before Shkia to stop eating, because of course we don't know the exact time. Another halacha is we cannot wear Shabbos clothing on Tisha B'Av, which means that by Nacht, a person should be taking off his leather shoes and putting on his Tisha B'Av shoes. A person should be changing from his Shabbos clothing to his weekday pre-worn clothing that he'll be wearing on Tisha B'Av. Also, we don't make regular Havdalah, because of course we cannot actually drink anything. We make Havdalah on wine at the end of Tisha B'Av, before you eat on Sunday evening. And when you go to shul, by the kinnis, by the eicha, they will be making Havdalah only on a ner, which is something that we'll speak about maybe a different time. But to remember that when Shabbos goes out, what we generally do is most shuls, again there are different minhagim, but most shuls will set the time for Mariv and everything else 20 minutes, half an hour after Shabbos goes out, to give people a time when Shabbos goes out to take off their leather shoes, to stop obviously eating, to change their clothing into weekday clothing, pre-worn clothing, obviously not fresh clothing on Tisha B'Av, and then Be'ez Hashem go to shul for eicha, for kinnis and everything else. And as I said, we don't make Havdalah either. Be'ez Hashem, next time we'll go through some of the halachas of Tisha B'Av.